To concentrate on a game of football for 90 minutes, I'm finished, I can't do it. So that's why I get involved with the fans and I'll sing along with the songs and someone's giving me abuse, I'll turn around and I'll give them a bit back.
Yeah.
I've had me 2-3 minutes of sort of madness in my head, straight back to the football. Yeah, I've got 10-15 minutes of pure concentration again. Next thing you know, half time's around.
Your goalkeeper lacks concentration for 90 minutes. That's something I'm pretty sure every Arsenal fan did not want to hear Aaron Ramsdale say in that clip you just saw, people. And, you know, the Wolves are going to come out, people. Now, some will point to, you know, Ramsdale's comments as a reason as to why sometimes his positioning isn't always spot on. He's prone to moments of madness. Some on Twitter and social media say he's got an ADHD trait. Now, again, you know, I don't think what Aaron Ramsdale said is necessarily wrong. I think it shows self-reflection. I think it shows knowing of self. I think it shows honesty and it shows a bit of personality, because footballers in this country, when you compare it to someone like NBA or a sport like NBA, rarely get to show that sort of side to them. So I don't think he's wrong. I think he's honest. That being said, it did rub me up the wrong way, and it does rub people up the wrong way. And it's something Mikel Arteta, whether it's true or not, it's something probably Mikel Arteta does not want to hear, you know, what was his first choice goalkeeper. And arguably, you know, if it isn't clear Raya is the number one for this football club, if there's two number ones, you don't want to hear that from Aaron Ramsdale, a player that Mikel Arteta backed, regardless of Raya, his first choice being brought in. He backed, you know, a lot of people were not keen on the signing of Ramsdale, and has defended him really and truly. Now, I like Aaron Ramsdale. Clearly, he's not working class anymore. He earns a lot of money. But, you know, if Aaron Ramsdale weren't a footballer, you could genuinely, or for me anyways, he could be a mate of yours. He could be someone you could be down the bar or down the pub with or going out with. I really like Ramsdale, really and truly. He does have this knack of going on several podcasts and saying comments that rubs Arsenal fans up the wrong way. As I said earlier, I like Ramsdale, man. I think he's honest. I think he's a class act on and off the field. I think he conducts himself in the right way. I think you can see it's a reflection that he honors playing for the football club. But those comments were unneeded, or, you know, if they weren't unneeded, you know, you've opened up the realm for them to be taken out of context for what is probably an hour-long interview. Ian Wright's face killed me in that clip we saw. Was probably an hour interview, you know, taking 30 seconds to a minute, and it's out of context. I've always said with Aaron Ramsdale, for me, he's at his best when he's under consistent pressure. I look at Leeds away last season. I look at Liverpool last season. Games where it's typically at the Emirates were dominating proceedings and all of those sort of things. Not just him, but he'd be prone to moments of madness. As I say, for me with Aaron Ramsdale, I think his focus needs to improve. I think sometimes his positioning isn't good enough. But other than that, I think he's a decent goalie. For whatever reason, Mikel Arteta, maybe it's nothing to do with Ramsdale personally, it's just to upgrade our team, has looked to get rid where first choice is concerned. Now, Ramsdale can't buy a game. Southgate's applying pressure and not offering him any promises about getting selected for England. Ramsdale has said that's a concern of his. He's also been linked with Chelsea Football Club people. Romano has kind of quashed that. His dad has spoken really on the Highbury Squad podcast and said Aaron's got to live with that. And he's living with that, even though he's not been told it by anyone. You've got to give the guy a chance, for God's sake. And he's then said Aaron Ramsdale's lost his smile. And he said the way Mikel Arteta has done it is more or less wrong, which, again, is going to rub Arteta up the wrong way. People, appreciate you for getting towards the end of the video. Now, again, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. Now, my thoughts in relation to Aaron Ramsdale's dad is, you know, we've seen in the All or Nothing, we've seen where he hit back at Jamie Carragher and Ramsdale got onto his own dad about that. You know, it's his son. You know, he's going to speak really and truly. If I'm Mikel Arteta, the first thing I would think is, you know, I like the honesty, I appreciate the honesty, but I am going to park it in the back of my mind purely because, playing devil's advocate, we see a lot of footballers use their wives or family members potentially to filter through comments that they genuinely think. Now, I don't know how it works at Arsenal, how you get access to giving interviews and stuff like that. It seems like Arsenal or Mikel Arteta or anyone is more than happy for Aaron Ramsdale to do it, because you've seen him on several podcasts with several sort of talking points that gets some fans in frenzies. So it would rub me up the wrong way. You know, I don't quite buy that Aaron Ramsdale hasn't been told about this Raya stuff, but I can't say it's not true. Maybe, you know, Aaron Ramsdale's done nothing wrong. The signing of Raya from Mikel Arteta was the chance to get his first choice target, and facts over feelings. You know, if he genuinely believes Raya is a better goalie than Ramsdale, then we owe it to the collective to make us stronger. And that goes for every position. If we woke up tomorrow and there's a legit chance to bring in someone better than Bukayo Saka or Odegaard, then things are going to have to be made. Of course, I feel sorry for Ramsdale. I feel sorry for Ramsdale that he hasn't made his Champions League debut, that he's been a marginalized figure, that he signed a new deal and has kind of been quashed. Really and truly, it protects the club because resale value in that, but he does feel a bit dirty. But in life, nobody owes you anything. If he wants this spot, he's going to have to go and get it back from a tough challenger in David Raya. And at least there's 2 games you can guarantee Ramsdale will be able to play. Because Raya can't play against Brentford in the Premier League, really. So, yeah, man. And for Ramsdale, you've got to get your concentration back. I actually like the fact that Ramsdale likes to give it back to the fans and he uses that to channel him. But naturally, you're not an elite goalkeeper. If you want to be an elite goalie, there's no way around it. You're going to have to learn how to get that out of your system, really, because I very much doubt. And again, football's changed, but, football hasn't changed in that, a goalie is going to get pelters from opposition fans. I very much doubt, David Seaman, Petr Cech, well, David Seaman, where Arsenal's concerned, keepers to a better level, Buffon, Casillas, Petr Cech, Van der Sar, these level, Schmeichel, these level of goalies that I'm sure Ramsdale would love to have a career like or aspire to be like. I don't know them as people. Maybe they're similar to Ramsdale in that regards. Maybe they're different, but you're not going to get to that level without a level of concentration. Of course, as a goalie and as a goalie of a top 6 side, it's not that you don't have much to do. It's Premier League football, but the bulk of it is you're going to be a viewer like us in games, in games really and truly, which probably is a dream. You've got to arrest that. And again, for Arsenal, where we're going, we're in the Champions League. We're aspiring to get to latter stages of fighting for the Champions League and in high pressure cup competition moments. You don't want to hear that from your goalie, really and truly. And I think indirectly, maybe that's why Arteta has looked to upgrade on you, because it seems like under pressure, Raya sticks to the plan a lot more, really. I like Ramsdale. As I said, I don't think Raya is clear of him. Maybe in Mikel Arteta's mind, Raya is the first choice and Ramsdale's going to have to wait. But for me, they're both in the same bracket. They have their pros and cons. They're 2 good keepers. If there was the new Alisson on the scene, me personally, I'd upgrade on both of them. I don't think Raya's stolen the shirt, really, and I think Ramsdale's got every chance of winning it back, but it's very much different to an outfield player. Goalies don't really change. We knew Mikel Arteta, it weren't going to be a thing of 2 rotating goalies. It was going to be made clear who the number 1 is. Whether Raya or Ramsdale have had individual conversations or a collective conversation, Arteta has shown it by who's starting in the big games, who's starting in the most important games, who's starting on a regular basis. Since Raya walked in, Ramsdale's lost his spot. It's as simple as that. Now, I don't know if Arteta sat there and said, you know what, Raya, I like you. Ramsdale, I like you. I want 2 good goalies. Whoever's the best in training and, run a form and all of these things, do your thing. Has he made clear to Raya when he joined that you're going to start on the back foot and have to take Ramsdale's spot? Has, it been made clear to Ramsdale that I'm upgrading on you, but the door isn't open? And this is the natural evolution of the squad, really. Had Timber have been fit, Zinchenko, who's come in and played as an inverted fullback on a regular basis and in his own way transformed the system, he might become a marginalized figure and go from being a first-team regular to a rotation option. Timber can also play on the right-hand side. That could be potentially said about Benjamin White. If we go and sign a new striker, people, that could be said about Gabriel Jesus. Competition is to be relished, really. Now, obviously, as a goalie, it's very different. I don't advocate, rotating goalies week in, week out. I don't think that helps us. I don't think that helps the back 5 unit become a cohesive unit in that regard. So it doesn't make sense. I don't think, for what it's worth, Ramsdale or Ramsdale's senior have said anything wrong necessarily, but I can see how it could rub fans up the wrong way. I can see how it makes a bit of Arsenal fans nervous. And for me, we all know Ramsdale can't concentrate for 90 minutes. He said it before, really and truly, but it does rub me up the wrong way. And with Raya, it makes me look at you and think, beyond everything else, because I'm sure there's multiple reasons, that's why you're not the number 1, really. And again, I'm sure if you want to be the number 1 for club and country, I don't think Gareth Southgate or Mikel Arteta want to hear that, really and truly. I wonder how awkward it was the next day, really, even though that clip is a bit old, but it seems to be doing the rounds. And obviously, I do like the fact that Ramsdale's dad has spoken. Them guys from that side of England, the Northerners, I believe, they talk with their chest. They're very honest people. And I like the fact that he's done that. And at the end of the day, that's his son. So he's always going to maybe put him on a level he's potentially not always have, in a weird way, his best interest. He's shown he'll hit out at Jamie Carragher. Big up to him for interviewing with Arsenal podcasters, because it just shows we're a collective club. He's allowed his opinion. He actually hasn't said anything wrong. He's allowed to say, I think it's been done a bit wrong. But playing devil's advocate, it's not like me or you lot or people down the pub or on the terraces of a football match saying we think Ramsdale's been done dirty. That's his dad. dad. His dad knows all the inner workings of that deal. Obviously, Ramsdale can withhold or share as much information to anyone, as including his dad, as he wants. But his dad has probably been briefed on everything that's happened. You know, Mikel Arteta, I don't know, and I think managers are very honest, but they're always liars at the same time, and that goes for every manager. I do think, from without having anything, that he sat Ramsdale down and told him what's what. But maybe he didn't really and truly. Maybe he just brought in the keeper and he thought, I'll deal with that later. Really, he doesn't really owe Ramsdale anything in that regards. Really, just like any other position at this football club, the collective comes first. I want everyone who's not playing to be vexed. In an ideal world, I'm sure all the managers would love everyone to get suitable game time, everyone to get suitable minutes, everyone to be, you know, happy and stuff. And as Arteta said before, I guess the most difficult thing is not playing a player, because if you tell them they're playing well in training, they're this, that, the other, you've given a man a new deal and you're not playing him. Yes, you've got to put the collective before your individual feelings, but indirectly you're telling them that not important. And for me, if I was Arteta, the thing that would rub me up the wrong way is, you know, obviously Ramsdale can't come out to a point and he can do that. Oh, I'm not happy about where I am. I'm going to keep fighting and all of this sort of stuff. But his dad's got no loyalty to Mikel Arteta. At best, he might get banned from the Emirates, even though that would be very extreme, you know. So if I'm Arteta, is that how Ramsdale feels? Is that the sentiment in the Ramsdale household? Is that how Ramsdale feels? Could Ramsdale have even told his dad what to say? I'm being devil's advocate, but these are all the realms that are open, really. If I'm completely honest, for Ramsdale, I think he's gone in the summer unless something dramatic happens, which it'd be a shame, because I do like Ramsdale. Think he is a good goalie. Like how he wears his heart on his sleeve. Like how he cares about the collective. You know, he might very well be sulking and be, you know, down in the dumps, but he seems to take everything in his stride. He seems to have a very mature outlook. I look back to when he walked in the club and he said he didn't expect to get as much game time as he did because Leno was in front of him. He's been in this situation before. He's going to keep getting linked with Chelsea and clubs like that. You do wonder where he would go, people, because he's been linked with Chelsea. They've got Sanchez, who is in a similar position to Raya. It would be more of the same that you're going through at Arsenal. I back you over Nick Pope at Newcastle and think Newcastle's a big club and exciting project, but it's not guaranteed that you're going to play over Nick Pope necessarily. And then you've got this at Arsenal. Where else are you going to really go, if I'm completely honest with you? It is going to have to get addressed. I do think Arsenal need to use this period to probably assess a number two goalie, like how not Liverpool. Well, Liverpool have a good number two, but how Manchester City have Ortega, who at times could play ahead of Ederson, really, and some City fans even want it dropped. I think we have to use this period before the summer. I think we hold on to Ramsdale and Jan. I don't know this, but I think we have to use this period to kind of, you know, find that number two, in my opinion, among, you know, in an ideal world in the summer, a centre mid or two, a right winger, a striker, you know, obviously a centre mid in Jam would be great, and probably a backup goalie. Ramsdale, with his new deal and his age and stuff, it might present an opportunity to get a decent fee. You know, you sell Ramsdale for about 50 odd million quid or something like that, you're laughing. You've made a decent profit on the guy. You know, Partey's a chance to shed Thomas Partey's wages off the wage bill, and the Emil Smith-Rowes, the Reece Nelsons, the Eddie Nketiahs, depending on who comes into the club and offers. These are opportunities that maybe can bring in money back to the club, because we've spent a lot of money. We've given players new deals. You know, you've given Kai Havertz a ridiculous amount of money to get paid a week. So, you know, we're going to have to look at the books. So, yeah, I don't think Ramsdale or Ramsdale's dad has said anything wrong, but if I'm Mikel Arteta, I'm defo side-eyeing, if I'm honest. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the vid. And again, people, check out the rest of the content. Big up you lot for tuning in. I'm out.
Because you always use that accurate red line, defending. I think it's like